Hi felters, and welcome. In today's video we are going to machine embroider this Highland cow together because lots of you have asked for me to sort of lead you through the process and how I do it. So this tutorial is on my Patreon. I do exclusive tutorials over there. It's £5 a month and you can join and leave just for 1 month if you want and have a look. But I've done this over there for my patrons, led them all the way through it, and I've done templates, told them what the wools I use and everything. So we're going to take this picture and we're literally going to set up the sewing machine and just do it all together, because I know it's quite a nerve-wracking thing, but don't worry, we're going to have some fun and make this picture look a lot better. Okay, so here's the sewing machine. I have a Genome CXL301. I'll put the price up, how much it was. I bought it about 5 or 6 years ago. I went on about 10 sewing lessons with a lady. It was invaluable. I thoroughly recommend it. It's just opened me up to doing sort of adjustments for clothes, making little bags, and doing stuff like this. So this is a normal sewing foot. I don't know what it's called. So we're going to need a screwdriver to take this off. Let's zoom in a little bit. So there's a little screw just here. Obviously the machine's not turned on. Make sure it's off. And I'm just taking the screw out. It has to come all the way out and your foot just drops off. You can just pop the bottom of the foot off by pressing the back here if you were doing sort of something with this bottom half, but because we're fitting a whole separate foot, we're taking everything off. So my one is a Genome, which is the make darning foot open toed, and it's got this little plastic bit here, and that's where your needle is going to move around in. So to make your life easier, just get the screw in place first, like that, and then this is going to be facing forwards, and literally I forget every time how to do this, but if you just move it around, you'll realize that those two hooky bits just there are going to have to go somewhere, so they'll go around there, and that's where it feels stable. And I'm just going to do it up with a screwdriver. It's the wrong shape for what it is. Right, so that's done up. Don't have to do it overly tight. There is no real up and down with this. I think you can change the heights, and there is a quilt foot that you can change the height with, but I'm not sure how to do that. I kind of will just probably drop it down and lift it up because that's just automatic. So that is that fitted. I'm just going to change my colours. So I purchased a whole load of colours recently. This is full up because I knew I was going to do some more embroidery work and I wanted a really good range. This is quite a few layers, so I'm going to find, so I think for this picture we're going to do a dark brown all the way around all of this, and then we're going to do some pattern designing here. I don't know if I'll actually go dark brown here. I might as well. We'll see. Let's get the dark brown out. That's a dark green. That would be nice. Can you see? There's a nice dark green, so that would be nice for the fields and the edge bits. And then that is a lovely chocolatey brown for the head. Let's just check. Oh, I've got another one. Is it the same? No, this is slightly warmer. I don't know if you can see the difference. Yeah, that's slightly, is that warmer? Yeah, that's shinier, I think. I don't think they're different types. But then I've got quite a few other ones if I wanted to do other sort of shades of Highland Cow. Let's just put that all back in there. And then I've got to load up my bobbin. So I bought a load of bobbins. I've got a load of empty bobbins. So we're going to do 2. Let's do that green after, and the dogs are barking already. Right, let me just double check. I'm quite happy with that brown. I think I am. I think it might be shiny. But we're going to practice on a bit of practice material first, and it's even going to help me as well because I want to do some nice shapes down here. So let's load up the bobbin. And then just follow the instructions on your sewing machine. 1, 2, if you've forgotten how to do it. 3, I constantly forget. 4, I never know if it's outside. think it's outside. Oh no, it says it's that side. See, there's a little wiggle. They're trying to help me here with everything. And then put it there, and I have a automatic threader. Just pull that down. You have to get it hooked across. That pulls it through the back and really helps. So that needle is threaded. Let's just put the bobbin in, and again, your sewing machine tells you where everything should go. So hook it in and under and out the back. Any seasoned sewers, chime in with things that I'm doing wrong, and then I feed it down one by hand manually. That pulls it up, and that bit that you had sticking out here gets pulled in and under. I like pushing that underneath the little steppy bit there. Don't know if that's the right way to do it. Let me get some material. So I'm going to practice on a little bit of felt actually, because that's what this backing material is on here. So we might as well use what we've got. I always feel I should put the foot down. I'm not 100% sure. My stitch, I am going to have it definitely on 1, but I'm just going to pop it down. That's the length of the stitch. Sorry about the flashing. Let's do it on 2 and see how it looks. Let's just give it a little go. And you can move your little piece anywhere. And it's kind of a lot of fun. So there we go already. Yeah, the stitch is quite small. I quite like that. So that's the, what would that be? 2mm stitch? No, I don't know. But anyway, does it say what it is here? No, that's the type. These are all the type of stitches I can do. How many do you think I use? Like literally 1, which is really great. So let's just cut that off and then you can see it. Cut it off front and back. And then you can see nice little pattern that I've created there. So my lady that taught me sewing taught me never to put my hands past this point. However, with free motion embroidery, you kind of have to because you're kind of guiding it. So let's just do a couple more practices with the kind of shapes I'm going to want to do. Sorry, just throwing that in the bin for this area here. So I want to do sort of similar shapes to the top. So we're going to go down and up, down and up. I was thinking of doing it in lots of different colours, but I don't think it needs it. So, and I'm controlling the speed of the sewing machine. I want it a little bit wiggly. Ooh, there we go. Moving it up and down. Just doing it very gently. Trying to get that point nice and slowly. And let me tell you something in a minute. The word is breathe. Right, get my fingers out the way. Stop. There we go. So I went on a free motion embroidery. Well, it was a wet felting with a bit of free motion embroidery in the afternoon with Sarah from 7 Hands, who is not Hebden Bridge way, but over that way. And I will link the little craft shop where she works out of. And so we did the embroidery in the afternoon, and oh my goodness, the word she had to keep saying was breathe, because you get kind of nervous about it. So top layer, nice and easy, but we've got a lot more than just 1 layer. So let's see how I'm going to do the second layer. Is it going to come down? I don't think it has to be exact. I like, careful of the needle, I like my threads just out the back there. You can see quite well. Right, let's just see. So we're going to have a second layer down here. How's it going to go? Right, that looks a bit rubbish. That doesn't look layered. Not quite how I'd want it, but I guess it's getting it across. So the other way I was thinking of doing it is just lots of straight lines. So if you are doing lots of straight lines and jumping from one spot to the other, you don't have to stop and restart all the time. Where's the end of it? Yeah, it's all in there. That's good. You do have a cutter on the side here of of quite a few sewing machines if you don't have any scissors to hand. So the other way I was thinking of doing it, and I'm probably not going, I'm going to sort of wiggle it like that, but you could do lots of little lines going down, but just to show you how you do that. Do a line, stop, do a line up. Oh, see, it hasn't gone down there. Do a line, stop, jump across, pull it out a bit. Maybe that, yeah, that loosens it. Yeah, that's why you have to lift the foot up. Jump across, down. So I think you're getting the picture. So you'll end up with all these little threads going across, and you just trim them off after. Bit tricky to do. 1, 2. I worry about, you know, whether it would come undone, but if it's going to be in a picture, it's not going to come undone. And you should use a better pair of scissors. I'll get my actual sewing scissors out and just get the back free. So that's how you do lots of line, and that one I didn't cut. So that's how you do lots of lines going down without having to cut it every single time. You just cut it afterwards. And then the other way I was going to do a fun design was circles. But I'm going to play around. You can watch me just for a bit whilst I play around and try and work out how to get these zigzags spot on. So I've had a little play around, and I think the best way to make it look okay is for not to touch, because as soon as it touches, it starts to look a bit odd. So I'm just going to go with layers like that where it's not touching. So I've worked out how to do that bit, and now I'm just going to line, follow the lines all the way around, line all of these bits all around the ears. The ear top bit, smooth, and then I might do little wiggles underneath. I'm going to use the dark green for all around here, and the brown for everywhere else. So let's get started. This is always the bit where you worry if you ruin it, but I guess you could unpick it. I'm just going to open the blind so we can see a bit better. So here we are, nice and brave, going in with the first bit. Now, also I forgot to mention about a lining, and you can see I'm turning the picture, going nice and slow. Let's just see where I'm going to go. I'm just going to go where I feel confident. And I'm going to turn it around. Sorry, Mr. Frog, you're going to have to sit over there. A lot of the times people do put a lining on the back, which is just another material, to stop the wool getting caught in your sewing machine. But we'll see how I go. I've never had a problem, and that's maybe partly because I did iron it, but I've never had a problem really with that. I'm just going to complete this up to the top because this is quite tricky. There we go. So you can see the detailing that I'm going to follow along the shading. What have I done with my scissors? Same old problem. I'm going to leave these quite long and then cut them off properly after. Oh, that's coming out a bit low. And then let's start it about there. Oh, that was a bit too far over. See that? Too far over there, but never mind. It's not the end of the world. And then let's do the bumpy bit all along the top. So angle it to where you want it. Needle's going to go down. Breathe. And really, I am going quite slow here. I've got the settings on slow for my machine anyway. And because I'm attached, I'm just going to go with it and go down. And keep doing the shapes as they come. And I'm quite happy to go over lines twice. Now this edging has got to be a bit wiggly. I do not want this perfect because it's the edge of the cow. This is not a straight line. Oh, don't think I was breathing. Right. There we go, you can see some of the lines. We're going to keep going, see how wiggly that is. It's not perfect. Don't go thinking it has to be perfect. Whew. Right, let's keep going. I don't know if that bit is going to bother me. We shall see. I'm liking this. This is good. That's getting better. It's got obviously threads. I'm liking the, it's giving me a bubbling effect. It's quite nice. Right, let's keep going. I think you get the idea, so I might move you back a bit. And then you can just see as we go along. Otherwise it's going to get quite boring for you. Whew, that was a long stretch. Oh, this is looking much better. Cute. I was a bit silly up there to think that I could do it that way. I think, oh my goodness, I think I'm going to just redo a line up over there because that was a bit silly to think I was confident enough to do it backwards. I'm going to do the nostrils. Oh goodness, and then we've got the shaping. That's going to be scary. Okay, so here's where we are so far. Got lots of bits of thread still about. So I'm going to try and shape these, do all the way along there. Next layer, next layer. So probably about 4. So let's see how this goes. Make it or break it. Let's hope it makes it. Start up here. Ooh-ah. Right. Yep, first layer fine. It's the next ones that don't. Oh, I do like it, actually. I'm liking it more and more. That's a good thing, because I was a bit, at the very beginning, I was a bit worried. So let's try and get this good. Just going to follow along underneath in a similar fashion. Has it worked? Whew. Do you know, I think I like that. Oh, I'm so pleased I went with that. Just got to watch keeping it evenish, or a bit more even. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm pleased with this so far. Yep, super happy with that. I've got lots of cutting off to do, which I'll do in a minute. Get your proper scissors out. Get my new pair out. So here's the picture so far. This great fab, this is quite a big area, and I'm hoping I can frame it to about there, and then it will look a bit better. I was just discussing with my son about, should I put another touch of colour in here to break it up? But look at the back, isn't that pretty? But I'm waiting for the frame to arrive, so I'll frame it and then we'll have a look. And the frame finally arrived. I'm not going to recommend you this frame because it didn't have a backing area, so I had to sort of put cardboard stuff in behind it. But anyway, all done, framed up, still like it. And you can see the embroidery has really helped. I do think you could do the lower coat in a lot more colours, probably in some darker colours. And I think you could work on this. You could do finer bits in the sort of fringe area. It's called the dosan, I think. This is just a couple of other pictures I've done with embroidery over the years. This was a Andrea Hunter course that workshop that I went on, and you can see all the embroidery through the tree. I mean, it's a very simple picture. There's not much to it. So the embroidery, I think, really helped. I was trying to do the Northern Lights, but you can see I've done it through the grasses, as well as all the way along, and I think it gives it good detail. This one I did recently when I went outside and did a bit of plein air needle felting, and you can see the leaves have been done. I mean, it saved me a lot of time doing it on the machine, but it was quite hard work. But those trees were just across and up and down, and I really like that. Then I just did the lining of the horizon and up over the hills, and I think it gives it a good little bit of detail there. And then this was the Moimaki workshop that I did, and you can see I did the horns in an actual sort of horn colour, and I think they definitely really worked. I'd like to sort of play around with that a lot more. I've got a lot more practicing to do to get this a lot better, but just, you know, this is for you guys to have the confidence to just give it a go. So I did it a little bit in the sunlight rays, then the grasses all in green, stones all in sort of greys and blacks, and then I did some pinky purpley mosses in that colour and the grasses above. So that definitely enhanced that picture in my view. But there we go, all done, and just play around with it, have fun. Hope you've enjoyed it. Any questions, pop them below, and see you again soon. Take care.